Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you see, for week 6, we are down to 233.2, which is minus 23.8 pounds since I started my journey at 257, and minus 6 pounds from the start of this video series. So we're really rolling along here in week 6, which is the week of March 21st. As I said, I'm trying to catch up, so bear with me. I have one more video, the video for the week of March 28th, which is the current week, and then we'll be caught up, and you guys can follow my journey weekly in case you'd like to join me in this weight loss series and in your own weight loss or leaning out or whatever your phase of your physique goals you're in. So, we will be caught up as of next week. And I promise I'll definitely upload more videos to the channel in addition to the weight loss series. So this week, as you see here, I'm showing you some leg day footage. These are my sort of stiff leg deadlifts. I always do like a slight bend in the knee just because you want to bend back as far as you can to get full range of motion and really work your hamstrings and glutes as well. So I actually always make sure that I try to keep my legs as stiff as I can with a slight bend in the knee for my stiff leg deadlifts. And then if I'm doing Romanian deadlifts, you'll notice that my knees are completely bent all the way at the back for the range of motion, and I can actually bend over all the way to the ground pretty much. So that's the difference in that movement. Now, these are just a few short clips because during this week, I actually had a lot of tours set up for various apartment communities that I was interested in. So I didn't get much footage for this particular week, and definitely not on this particular day, which was a leg day, because I was touring a bunch of communities that were far apart. So at that point, I just wanted to get my leg day workout over with. So I only got a couple clips in there. But I did the standard stuff that I normally do, those exercises, plus, the hip abduction, plus I also did the leg extension and the hamstring curl machine. So, and as you see here in this next workout, this is my back and triceps movements. Now, I actually did the obviously decline triceps press in that first clip. Here is, of course, the lying T-bar row, which is one of my favorites. It really feels heavier on using this Atlantis machine, and it is very comfortable. So that's why I like using this machine often, whenever I'm in this gym, in this particular location. Next up here, of course, is the seated double arm wide grip row machine, which is a really good machine to utilize either at the beginning of your workout or at the end as a finisher, which is what I did during this particular workout. So once I finish the wide grip double arm rows, then I immediately go to single arm underhand one arm rows. And I actually like this exercise as well because you can really feel it in your lower lats if you position your body a little bit to the side. So definitely give this a try if you haven't already. This machine is in most gyms, this seated row machine. So definitely try both handles and see if both will work for you. And I finished off this back and triceps workout with my favorite exercise, the mag grip cable pull down, going as heavy as I can at that point, which works out pretty well because I'm already tired. So, pulling as heavy as I can with good form will really exhaust the muscle and also burn a lot of calories. So definitely give that a try. And if you don't know what this is the Stratosphere Strat Hotel and Casino, which people like to bungee jump off of. I was just showing footage of things as I'm driving by on my way to different apartment communities to visit and tour. So I figured I would show you guys some nice Las Vegas desert footage with the nice mountains as well. So hope you enjoy the extra footage here that I always add in my Instagram stories. If anybody is curious, you can definitely see a lot of Las Vegas footage in my Instagram archive stories if you're curious. Especially when I first moved here and all throughout the year that I've been here, I've been recording a lot of my driving throughout Las Vegas. So if you want to see any of that, definitely feel free to go check out my Instagram, Coach Angelique Fitness, all one word, and go to my archive Instagram stories for Las Vegas, and you'll see a lot of the city and the different sites, including plenty of footage of the Sphere if you're curious. So I haven't visited inside the Sphere, but I've driven around and seen it a bunch. So I definitely have footage of that as well. Now, here is the first apartment community that I decided to record and visit. It was nice. I started off here with the gym because that's what you always start off with for me anyway. if I can. And actually, they have pretty good pieces. A lot of dual machines, so which is what I like about apartment gyms. Are smart enough to get dual machines so that they do like a shoulder press and a chest press, or a biceps and triceps curl. You have your standalone cable station, which you can do a lot with just those pieces as well. Here I'm just showing footage of the pool, because everybody likes a nice pool, except for me apparently, because every time I move to an apartment community, I don't really care about the pool, but I usually pick a nice one in case my mom wants to come down and visit, and she loves pools, and especially, hanging out at the pool. Especially when I was living in Texas, she was down there in the pool all the time, her and my little sister, whenever they visited. So I always make sure wherever I move to has a nice pool setup, and then my mom, if she decides to come down, can enjoy it, especially now that she's retired. But anyway, as you can see here, I was just mostly looking around, like I said, to get footage for my mom, because every time I go and visit apartment communities, I always record plenty of footage so that my mom can see, what the different apartment communities are looking like, and, give her feedback, because, I value her feedback on certain things, and apartment picking is definitely one of them, because I know sometimes I can be pretty picky, or maybe sometimes I am way too much of a thinker, so I might be overthinking certain things. So I'll definitely show her things and tell her what I'm thinking, and get her feedback as well. So here is one of the bedrooms. It's carpeted, obviously. What I really like is the wall of mirrors there. So if you're doing any kind of pictures or videos, that definitely helps as well. What I can't stand though is when you go into a bathroom, especially if you're touring something, I cannot stand when the toilet seat is up. Like, what is that about? I feel like the toilet seat should be down at all times, even if you're visiting and it's already clean, so I was just kind of wandering around checking out stuff, and sorry, it looks a little crazy, but obviously I try not to point the camera at the person, so I'm trying to like talk to her and swirl around and not get her. And in this particular apartment, I did not like that the washer and dryer were in the kitchen closet, which is normally a pantry. So this apartment to me seemed a little small. I wasn't really fond of this balcony, but I didn't tell her that, of course. The balcony to me felt very uneven, and I also didn't like that it wasn't really see-through, which is what my dog likes, because my dog uses the balcony more than I do as like her TV watching for other dogs and family. She loves watching people walk by. She'll pick her head up, rest, and then watch whoever's walking by again. Also, if you can tell, I sped up the clips here a bit because I didn't want the video to be too long. I think people will get bored if if it's very slowed down. So that was the first apartment community. Here is the next one that I really liked. It's very new construction, very fancy looking, which I don't really care about, but I do like how new it is and certain features that I was interested in. So for this apartment, I'm actually just still in the office. I was recording footage of the office while I was waiting for my tour appointment to start. And this is just their office. It goes down for a while, and then here's where it kind of ends. It looks like a freaking bar, like a fancy little bar, with a sports bar too, with all those TVs. There was like 6 of them up there, and then there's another one on the other side. And then I was showing you the sitting area outside here, which you'll see in the next clip as well. But it's very nice. They have a lot of activities for the residents here, and you can even barbecue as well, and the pool, I believe, is on the left side. So this whole sitting area outside and the sitting area on the inside is really cool. They even had conferences, so if you have work colleagues come in, then they can utilize it as well. So the whole setup is pretty cool. And you'll see the pool area up here next, which again, I recorded mostly from my mom. But what I wanted to say about the activities, I don't know if I showed them all, and I'll try to remember them all, but they have like different things, like the pool table there on the inside. They had a pickleball court on the outside, which I don't know if I actually captured video of, but it looks like a giant tennis court, but it's for pickleball. They also had shuffleboard, I think, which I thought was odd, but hey, they had a table for shuffleboard. They also had a table for ping pong as well, I believe. So there was a lot to do, which is actually pretty cool, because if I actually end up meeting people in this apartment community, we'll have a lot of different activities that we can just do, just downstairs outside of our apartments together. So it's kind of cool that way. But so next here obviously is the apartment gym, and it was a favorite of mine for sure. As you can see here, they have a plethora, I don't even use that word that often, of squat racks and heavy dumbbells up to 100 pounds, which you never see. You usually see most apartment complexes, for some reason, say they're allowed to, or only will, order dumbbells up to 50 pounds. So this place actually has dumbbells up to 100 pounds, which is great because I can actually lift dumbbells past 50 pounds, as you guys have seen in my videos. So it's great to have that, knowing I can get a full, complete workout in this apartment gym, even with limited machines, because they have plenty of squat racks or the power cages. They have a cable station that I actually like to utilize. Even if it is one of the smaller ones, you can still do a lot with that cable station that you'll see coming up. And they also have a decline bench, an incline bench, and all the heavy dumbbells. So in addition to these few machines that they have here, some are dual. I can do a lot with just those other pieces of equipment that I already talked about and get a great workout for whichever body part I'm working on. Even leg day, I can still do a lot with leg day, even if they don't have, a few things like maybe a glute drive or, a kickback machine. I can still do a lot with the cable station, the squat rack. They even have the Smith machine on the left there. They even have, I believe, the leg extension. So, I can do a lot with just these pieces of equipment, because they have the majority of what I would use at most gyms, which is the squat rack and the cable station. So, I was really happy to see all this. They even have bumper plates. Like, who has bumper plates in an apartment gym? That means you can deadlift if you want to with no problems. Although I did suggest that they might want to get matted floors, for people who might actually deadlift. So. And in that gym, I can also do, in addition to, my deadlifts, my overhead presses with the barbell, as you guys know, I like to do. So another reason I can really get in all of my workouts. Here I was just showing the mail room that they have that's air conditioned constantly, which is really nice that it's indoors, as opposed to right now I'm having to walk outdoors all seasons. Right now it's super windy, and having to go get your mail when it's super windy is not fun, but just a nice option to have. And as I'm showing here, this is the first apartment that I've seen. It was too small, but I just wanted to show you guys around anyways. Very nice features. Like I said, this is a new construction. No one's lived in any of these apartments. They're still renting out different units. So there was a lot of options here for me. And I told them I wanted a corner unit, and I wanted it to be on a top floor because I do not want anybody over my head, which is always an important thing for me. Ever since I first moved to Texas, I remember my second apartment. I was like, after the first apartment, where I was just happy to, find any apartment, I was on the first floor and it was okay, but then I didn't really want that anymore. But the second apartment I moved to, I was like, oh, it's a fancy apartment, let me move there. It was a second floor, and every day someone was stomping over my head. Probably a small person too. It's like usually the smallest person is stomping the heaviest, but I just remember it sounded like clogs constantly walking back and forth over my apartment. So I always told myself, no more apartments where you have someone over your head. So I've always since then constantly made sure I moved to apartments that had where I was on the top floor, or whatever that was, second or third. So in this particular community, they have 3 floors, so it would be the third floor is what I would be, renting. And so I told him, okay, so third floor, corner unit. So this was one of the apartments, and I was like, no, this is too small for me. I don't care if it's a 1 bed or a 2. Right now I have a 2 bed, 2 bath. It's a little big for me, and I got it because it was available in the price range. Now here, these units are a little bit more expensive, so I'm going for a 1 bed, 1 bath for now. I also don't need the second bedroom, as I don't know how much my mom might actually visit because she's retired, but she still has knee surgeries to get done this year. So I figured, I could get a 2 bed, but then I was like, I don't really want to pay the extra price, so I'll stick with a 1 and see how I feel in a 1 bed for now. And maybe next year I'll get a 2 when she's probably gonna more likely come down to, Las Vegas, but we'll see how it goes. Even if she comes to Las Vegas this year, which is highly unlikely, even if it's at the end of the year, we've always made it work. If she comes down, I only have 1 bedroom, so it is what it is. But again, I just cared that I liked that it was new construction, and I liked that, like I said, I wanted a corner unit, which was really hard actually to find in all of my research of apartment listings. Well, 1, it was hard to find because I have a large dog, so taking that into consideration. But 2, also because at this point in the year, for some reason, there was a lot more middle units and a lot more first floor units, which is not what I wanted. So I had to keep trying to find like apartments that had corner units. So that was very difficult. And if you live in apartments, you understand all too well about having neighbors on all your walls and hearing their craziness constantly, whether it's babies or constant fighting, which is what it usually is for me. I'm always hearing fighting, and I'm always home like 98% of the time. Let's say 95, whatever, because I work from home. And I'm also a homebody. So the only time I'm really going out, unless I'm driving around, is errands, maybe to go to the gym or to go grocery shopping. That's the only time I pretty much leave my apartment. So frankly, I don't want to be sharing walls if I don't have to that much. So, I did look into townhomes, but those are also few far in between down here in Las Vegas anyway. I mean, they are more frequent in other areas, or if you have a small dog. So keep in mind, if you have a dog that's over 50 pounds, it is pretty hard to find a good apartment of what you're looking for. So, and next up is going to be the next apartment that was a bit bigger, which I actually liked. Now, that's on the second floor. This, if I was interested in renting it, this wouldn't be actually the one I'd be, actually moving into or anything like that. It's just one that they wanted to show me that it's kind of the same model of a third floor unit that I would be interested in, because like I said, I want to be on a top floor. So as you see, there's a nice big open living room space. So, there'd be plenty of space for my office as well as my couch and as well as my upright bike. I could definitely make that work. The kitchen is against the back wall. And since I wouldn't have an island like I do now in this apartment, I would have to get like a big table island kind of thing. And I think I could make it all fit for sure. So what I really like though is that, again, it's new construction. They're still renting out the units. Right now they only have like 40 residents, I believe. And I guess maybe I'd be 41 or 45 by the time I actually move in if I decide I want this. I don't know. But the point is that it's likely that whichever unit I end up on, if I choose this apartment community, I wouldn't even have a neighbor. And if I did have a neighbor, the only wall that I would share would be the kitchen wall, which is fantastic because right now I'm currently sharing the bedroom wall, which I've had to actually turn my bed in the opposite direction because the people on the other side were so loud via, fighting or babies crying or both. And then I also have to hear constant noise from my living room back wall as well as the secondary bedroom wall whenever those people come home. So, and sometimes I'm still working. So anyway, now you understand what I mean about corner units. So this is a corner unit. This is the corner unit balcony. The dog would love this because it has a see-through balcony, so she can see out with no problem. She would be a little high, obviously, if we take a unit on a third floor, but the point is that she can still see down, be comfortable out there, and really enjoy, the weather in her time, which she loves. So as long as she can see dogs and people walking by, she's a happy dog. So, I don't really care much about the balcony either. That's mostly for her. I just want to make sure I can fit comfortable in a space and, have a nice peaceful day to day, which is what I'm looking for. So also a mountain view is very nice as well. So that's why the third floor would also be nice. So what I actually wanted to rent was a house this time, and I even have the budget for it. But what I didn't like is that you literally have to rent a house as soon as you're approved. So like if you go and you find a house you like, you have to rent it right away, even if you have to give notice at your current, living situation, which is mostly 60 days in most apartment communities. So imagine having to pay for 2 months in an apartment community as well as a house. So, that wasn't something I wanted to do. But there were more apartments, but I decided not to make this video any longer than it needed to be. So the next video will be uploaded tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.